Kababayan Today, I was recently at a hospital, and sure enough, I counted how many Filipinos that were in that hospital. I counted 32. 32 just from walking to the doctor's office and having to go to the lab and walking back to my car. That's a lot of Filipino Americans. Now, we're talking to a panel of registered nurses here on Kababayan Today. We're celebrating them and the work that they do, but there's still so much involved when you are a nurse here in America. So thank you for sharing all of this information that I had no idea, and I'm sure a lot of our kababayans also had no idea. Importanteng pag-usapan, Shalom, itong mga bagay na to. Kasi hindi nga natin alam. You know, there's this misconception that when you're a nurse, marami kang pera, malaki ang bayad sa'yo.
Aside
diba?
from that.
Aside from that, totoo ba ang chismis? Yun ang gusto ko malaman. Totoo ba ang chismis? I have no idea. How much do nurses get paid?
Well, you can ask these two nurses.
Well, I think because of the union.
It's because of the union's work.
I can honestly say that. And would you agree, Charmaine?
I agree.
Yes.
Because of the union.
I can remember a time when the sales clerk at the the grocery stores and the garbage collectors were making more money than nurses. That's how far back I go.
Okay,
and,
but this has changed because of the unions.
I think so. Through collective bargaining, through organized labor,
Okay.
we were able to come up to par with our fellow professionals.
Okay, so what I want to know is what is the range that we're talking about for maybe, Charmaine, someone starting out in their career as a nurse and someone who's been in that job for a long time, a senior nurse?
It would depend on who they're working for.
Right.
It would depend if it's a unionized hospital or not.
Okay.
So, I mean, the nice part is someone coming straight out of nursing school would hope to start somewhere at $25 an hour. Someone that's been somewhere 20 plus years could be looking at anywhere from maybe $50 to $75 an hour. But again, it's a range.
Right, so it's a
Yeah.
range, but I mean, this is a lot of money, and yet a lot of Filipinos do double shifts too. Do you see this?
That's
I
true.
see
Yeah,
it.
I
I
do.
see it.
Yeah.
A lot of
It's-
Filipinos do that.
Yeah, I mean, some of my colleagues have families at home, back in the Philippines, and are supporting, nieces and nephews as well, sending them through school or siblings.
So it's not uncommon that a Filipino-American nurse does double shifts because yun na nga, kailangan kumita, kailangan magpadala ng pera sa Pilipinas.
Especially
Yes.
those who are younger
Young
ones.
nurses that have no problem staying
Yes.
up
Exactly.
so many
Yes.
hours.
And I wouldn't say it may necessarily be double shifts, but working more than one job.
Yes.
Because if they are a 3/12s, they can do it somewhere else versus a nurse who's working 5/8s.
I'm sorry for the
Oh.
terminology. 5/8. What are you talking
so
about?
not all nurses work 3 12-hour shifts.
Okay.
Some are still on the 8-hour, so it's 40 hours a week. 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. Then depending on the specialty, it might even be 4 days a week at 10 hours a day. So it would vary. But for the most part, if they are working more than the average 40 hours a week,
They're working somewhere else.
they might be. And I would say based on my, speaking to my coworkers that I've worked with, or even some of our members, it's because they're supporting someone back home, putting a sibling through school, or like Marietta said, maybe a cousin. It's the whole family unit. So one gets to come to the U.S. to get those opportunities to make more money, but there's still that payback to give back to someone at home.
I grew up with an auntie that was a nurse. We never saw her. She was always sleeping during the day because ang sabi daw, mas malaki daw yung bayad pag gabi. Totoo ba ito? Marietta?
Yes. you have the differential stack up, and yeah, and it's not unusual to have that big differential to, you know, to make a difference in the paycheck. So, but to work night shift, you really have to have the stamina. I worked night shift for 3 years. I had a migraine headache the whole time.
Yeah. But I'm sure your bank account was fine.
Oh,
Right?
I don't know about that. That was like way back.
All right. We're making jokes here on Kababayan Today, but we are definitely taking the work that they do seriously. We'll be right back here on the show.